Yeah, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Nothing much, man.
Have a seat. What's going on?
Man, I just want to talk to you because you right on the shit that's going on over there. All right? And I just want to tell you, first of all, if you are 100% correct. And the only reason why I couldn't say nothing because I had to keep my job. Because everybody that's around there is like zombies.
I can respect this.
You know? And you saw that I was her #1 employee. I did everything under the sun for her. Even did some stuff I shouldn't have, like running people off from the corner store. That don't have anything to do with Sterling Green.
Yeah.
You know? But that's the stuff you have to do if you don't want your hours cut or if you want to keep your job. Now, first of all, she is getting paid.
Oh yeah, I figured that out already.
She's getting paid. She had me fooled for a few years. Then she started coming out, yeah, I have to get paid, putting up with all this stuff. And another thing, I think the board members are getting paid under the table. Because every time after the HOA meeting, security has to leave out of that room. And I'm like, these board members, they're like zombies. They don't say anything. She runs everything, and she will tell you in that office, I'm the board. You know?
Yeah.
So, and another thing, the reason why she don't want that forensic
audit
is because 3 years ago, an employee named Melissa Davis stole over $110,000.
You mind if I take some notes?
Yeah, I don't know. But this is confidential.
Yeah.
Right?
It stays confidential. This is between you and I.
Okay. And they swept that under the rug, Olson. They didn't want that to get out at all.
Melissa Davis?
Yes. And the Harris County DA was the one that put her in jail and all that. So I'm sure you can get public record.
The Harris County DA did what?
The Harris County DA the one filed charges. Miss Malveaux, HOA filed charges against her, but they didn't retrieve an attorney. They just let the DA told the DA about it because they didn't even want me. Miss Malveaux didn't even want me to detain her at the HOA office, which I could have. At that time, I was working for Sears Security.
Okay.
She said, no, I'm letting her go home. I don't want police and everybody up here. That's a big thing. She want everything quiet. She don't want nobody to know, you know, what's going on inside the office. So she don't want police up there for anything.
So she actually told the district attorney about the money missing.
Yeah. She gave the DA the records and stuff from the checks that she was writing in Miss Malveaux's name.
Did the DA? Do you know why the DA didn't take the charges? Didn't present the charges to a grand jury?
I don't know why. But she's in jail for it. She may be out now. She did some time for sure. She was in jail for another 2 years. She may be still in there.
Okay, so she was caught.
Oh yeah, she was caught and convicted.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she was caught and convicted, but they never told the residents about it because the residents knew something was going on, but they never disclosed that. You know, that's why Ms. Malveaux said, all our records are on point, our audits always together. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. You know, and let me tell you, the lady's so slick. Let me tell you how she stays on that board. Because you know these elderly people around here, she helps out, cut the yards for free and all that. Guess what? She's getting their votes when it's time for the ballots to get mailed out. That's how she's getting. That's how she's been on the board for 12 years. Because older people are like, she'll put the fines on them. I can't afford it.
And she'll let the fine go.
And she'll let the fine go. And guess what? She'll send Ricardo, her lead maintenance guy over there, to go fix the problem.
I've heard about this. Ricardo is the guy who's been doing maintenance on people's houses?
Mm-hmm. And another thing about Ricardo, she switched it up since you've been watching them. He don't go do work on the house in the company trucks anymore. In the HOA trucks, she sent him in his personal red pickup truck. Ricardo, I want you to drive your own personal truck because I don't want Olson to see you working on these people's houses in the company vehicles. Yes, sir. And another thing, the reason why she's always said, well, I haven't went up on the HOA fees in years and years. You know those same cars that she has over there? She has a book of repairs that she made on those cars. She could have bought brand new cars if she want, but she don't want y'all to know that. She has books on every vehicle over there that she spent well over about $15,000. But to the HOA, it looks like, oh, she's saving money because she's keeping those same cars. Those cars been ready to go. We were like, Ms. Malveaux, why you want to keep it? It's not worth it. She put a whole another engine in that green truck. So yeah, it's just a lot of nicks and crannies that she's doing. She's been doing it for a long time. And yes, let me tell you about the investigation. Okay, she threw me under the bus. That incident that happened over there I was talking about. Okay, the sheriff investigated me and Saif. Okay, the sheriff, when he investigated me, he had DPS on the phone. I said, sir, look, I'm a courtesy officer. I don't have security out now. I'm security. I work for a security company now. He said, an actual patch. Yeah. He said, okay, well, I'm gonna call the DPS. He took a picture and called DPS. DPS said, well, he don't have a security patch on him, and for my gun, I have open carry license, so it covers that. So DPS said, we're not gonna file charge. It's up to you if you want to handle it. So he said, okay, Jackson, I need to see if y'all on the contract. I said, no, we employed with the HOA. So he said, well, I need to talk with Ms. Malveaux to find out. So anyway, the DA subpoenaed the payroll to see if we was on contracts. But guess what? Ms. Malveaux got Susan to put a stop to hers. She didn't want hers revealed. She submitted me and Safe stuff, our payroll stuff, to show that, hey, we're employees of the HOA, but she got Susan to block hers because the DAs wanted her stuff too.
Okay.
And another thing, let me see. The DA wanted her stuff. She put a block on that, and after Susan submitted that stuff to the DA, when I came back to work the next day, I guess Susan looked over it and said, hey, you haven't been paying these guys overtime. Well, she hasn't. She hasn't paid us overtime since we worked there. Susan, so she tried to type up a letter saying, Jackson, I want you to sign this letter saying I haven't been paying you overtime. I said, I'm not signing anything.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm not signing anything. I do about 5 jobs around here. You see me pick up trash around here. I work for maintenance. I will pick up supplies, pick up her damn lunch every damn day, you know? And then right before then, I had got, me and my wife was buying a house. Then you know how they sit the employee verification on her. She fills all that stuff out. Then when the stuff happened on McGlipsy and all that, she started cutting my hours. I started asking questions. I said, Ms. Malveaux, why are you not going to get an attorney? We employees said, no, because y'all not on the board. I mean, it's the HOA money. And I said, Ms. Malveaux, we're still employees of the company. I start showing her resistance.
So she threw y'all under the bus.
Yeah, she threw us under the bus. You know, started cutting our hours. And she cuts, I resigned. I had enough of it. I said, I resigned, right? I think right before Thanksgiving.
Did you make an EEOC complaint?
No, yes. To the Department of Labor.
Okay.
I did. Once I resigned, I made a complaint to the Department of Labor. Hey, I made a complaint to the Department of Labor.
It is.
Oh, and another thing. Since your wife here, Miss Malveaux now, remember how your pit bulls used to get out all the time?
Yeah.
And I used to say, hey, I used to come knock on your door.
Oh no, you can't get your pictures of fence like 3 or 4 different times.
I said, hey, put your dogs up because I don't want them sending you a fine. If they would have known I would have did that, she would have fired me.
Oh yeah.
She would have fired me. It's like 2 or 3 times I told your wife, hey, just put your dogs up. I'm not going to even write it up. Just put them up. Because if she'd have known that, Jackson, why you ain't writing? Because she wants those fines to pile up on these accounts around here. Because you feel like you in debt to the HOA and to her.
Jackson understood that the fence behind the house was the other people's fence and that the HOA done told me that. Yeah. And he saw every single fucking time I mailed up new boards whenever they get out.
But Olson, I had to keep my job. Because she working for her in that office is like walking on eggshells, man. One she's like walking on eggshells. Anything you have to watch what you say. You know, it was a couple people. It was a couple people that had, you know, started dating, got into a relationship. She let him go. I'm like, That's not right because you first of all, you don't have an employee handbook that says that.
Yeah.
You don't have that. You still don't have it. And I reported that to DOL. So that's a fine as soon as they get here. When they come to that office, they told me they're gonna search and audit everything.
Do you know when they're gonna come?
No, I don't know when they're gonna come, but they've been sending me letters. They've been sending me letters, let me know, hey, we got your complaint and all that. We gonna be coming out. They coming out, and that's a good thing. And that Saif still work there. In a day, he's gonna let me know, because I told him when I resigned, he said, "Don't worry about it, Mr. Jackson. We're gonna contact you, even if you don't work there. We will contact you, and we will. When they go through that, I said, when I told him, I said, hey, she tried to get me to sign a waiver. She said, it don't matter, Jackson. If you would have signed, it don't mean nothing. It's the law.
Yeah, I actually know that part of the labor law.
Mm-hmm.
They probably wonder about who I am, and it would not behoove them to go searching for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But I did attend part of law school before the government asked me to come do something for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you knew I said something about being a federal officer at one time.
Yeah.
So I know what a bully looks like.
Mm-hmm. And she used that Jesus Christ stuff as a cover up.
She has a church thing that's tied to her address over here at her home.
Yeah. She does, and and she manipulates the board. She puts whoever she want to put on. Like Miss Wu, she just added her on there. Like this other lady just recently, she stayed in Section 7. She just added her on there.
Well, she's going to end up getting off here this next meeting because I'm going to point out for somebody to be added to the board under Texas law, that actually has to be discussed at a board meeting.
Oh no, that wasn't discussed. Let me tell you how she did it. She was in the car with me in the truck. I was taking her somewhere because I'm always taking her somewhere. She called her up. Hey, you want to be on the board? Sure, why not? And that was it.
Yeah. Well, that actually has to be discussed in public at a board meeting.
But she runs the board. You saw those ladies. Those ladies don't say anything in there. They hush. They don't say nothing. And I'm like, I'm talking to Saif. I said, you know what? Why be on the board? You don't say anything, no input. They coming for a check every month. Because why else would they come? They don't say anything. They're like zombies. Because residents say, hey, what's your name? They don't even know their names. And I sit there, I'm like, I be biting my tongue because some of these residents I feel sorry for over here. But like I said, Olsen, I couldn't say anything. All these fines pile up. She use it against them. Well, you got all these fines and all this and this and that. Okay, I'm gonna knock this out, and she be friends, and they be like, oh, thank you. And then when it's time for the ballots to come out.
Yeah, this is a Cox and whoever her other person is not gonna end up making it back on the board.
Oh, okay. That must be the recent one. The recent one she just added before I resigned.
No, Cox is the president. Deborah Cox right now.
Oh.
She ain't gonna make it back on the board, and neither is the good girl that's on there now.
Well, let me tell you what I heard. I heard that she told Miss Malveaux that she don't get an attorney to deal with you, that she was gonna resign anyway.
If who doesn't do what?
If Miss Malveaux don't get an attorney to deal with you, because I guess what all you doing, that she was gonna resign.
That woman thinks I'm afraid of her.
Me and Saif been talking about this ever since for the longest now, and I just had enough, and I resigned. I'm like, she's just taking advantage of everything, and I was telling Saif, it's a good thing that Olsen come in some, because she what it is, she tried to bully the residents. She tried to bully them,
Mm-hmm.
and she got so many people over here with her because she helps them out. Some elderly residents don't even pay HOA fee. She'll waive it. She'll waive it. That's not fair. She will waive it. So, and right now, it's still no fines. So the residents can do what the hell they want without her neck picking them to death.
Well, here's the deal. I don't have any problem with people being fined, but you have to do the fines properly. You actually have to have the vote of the vote of, yeah.
And let me tell you something right now. She's still putting out those little baggies. She got the maintenance guy doing it, and make sure you're not around when they do it. She still put them out. Back when I was working on November, they were still putting them out. the little bag. Oh, watch for Olson. Make sure he's not around. Or you see that white truck, don't talk to nobody. Oh yeah, Olson, they're afraid of you in there. You know? Because you're the only one that got guts to stand up against them, and someone needs to. It's been going on too long in that office. And the board members let her get away with all that.
I told you I saw the maintenance guy over there talking to what's his face, and that's the one who tried to find him about, what was it, the lawnmower? And I was like, the fuck is the maintenance guy giving you a fine?
Not only that, what's that guy that used to be on the board? Lupe. Oh, they don't like Lupe now. Because Lupe coming against them. You know, and she made me take pictures of Lupe neighbor. We had some stuff out in front of his yard one day, and the maintenance guy was just working over. Hey, Jackson, take pictures of. I already knew this. I think I'm picking on him. It's not me. It's her.
I get it.
And if I couldn't take them pictures, I wouldn't have a job. And I got a family, wife, kids. You know, so she's a piece of work.
She nitpicks. Every time I go in there and I complain about something, within 2 weeks, I'd have a fine stuck on my front door for some kind of bullshit. Mm-hmm. One was like weeds in your garden.
And I mean, it'd be just BS, man. It's BS stuff, man. You know, I said, Saif, tell Olson I'm coming over there tonight. I just got off work. So I said, tell him I'll be there. Saif said, Jackson still coming. I said, you know what? It's fog as hell. I'm still coming out there because that board members, the board meeting is Tuesday.
Monday.
So I said, I let him know all this information he needs to know. That way, you know, because she's going to be, she's probably going to hurry up and shut the meeting down.
How much money was stolen by Melissa Davis?
Over $110,000. Maybe more. She was writing $7,000 checks, $8,000 checks, $3,000 checks, $5,000 checks.
Payable to her?
Yeah. Payable to her, and signing Miss Melville's name on the check. Oh, they didn't want that to get out because the residents already knew something was going on, but they couldn't put their finger on it. They would always say, hey, y'all left enough the money up here. And when that came out, I'm like, man, Melissa was, because I was working here. You know Melissa, the heavy-set white girl that was in office? Yeah, the heavy-set one. What, about 300 pounds?
Was she the
Melissa
one who
Davis?
had, like, kind of bright makeup?
Yeah, you seen her. She was here for a long time.
Yeah.
Melissa Davis, that's her name.
Was that her full name? Is that her full proper name?
Yes, Melissa Davis.
Roughly how old was she? That way I can look her up in the system.
Early 30s.
Okay.
She also the one who used to burn, like, incense or candles in the office all the time?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
They were supposed to be getting an actual auditor to do an audit.
She don't want that shit audited.
What do you know about it?
Yeah, I heard she's supposed to get one, but who she's gonna get? Her uncle or somebody?
Yeah, I imagine it's gonna be something like that.
Yeah, somebody she knows. They need to get a real.
Well, from the sounds of it, they think that they can just buy their way through whatever. Like how Cox was like, well, I know the sheriff, and she tried to call the sheriff to muscle her way to get what she wanted.
By the way, the sheriff hates her, and her brother was a shitty lawman.
And they said it was like 15 years ago or something that he worked there.
Yeah. He was a shitty lawman, and he wasn't a lawman very long. So, whatever stroke she thinks she has, she doesn't actually have it. And it's just, I've already heard the story from the sheriff himself. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The sheriff knows her. He's not impressed with her.
Oh, okay. Because let her tell it. They like buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
And I think she fired Susan. Susan's not an attorney anymore. She was too buddy with you.
Well, Susan and I had a relationship that was based on professional respect.
Well, she didn't like that.
Well,
and she didn't like the fact that she was talking to you, that Susan would talk to you and charge her. Oh, she didn't like that.
It didn't matter. They put that ball in my court. Whenever I emailed them, their email response was take all your further complaints directly to our attorney and basically shut up and leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah, she throw that attorney around on them.
Well, that's fine, but that's the result of your actions.
Right.
Tell me this: how much money do you think the board members are getting paid? Do you have any idea?
I don't know, but I know they're getting paid.
Do you know of any other money missing or any other illegal shit?
No.
Do you have any idea how much Malveaux's getting paid?
$21 an hour. I know that.
How do you know that?
Because when they was getting the paperwork together, payroll together to send for the DA, I saw it on a spreadsheet.
Interesting. Okay.
You know, which we talked to an attorney, and the attorney said that Miss Malveaux shouldn't release our records without our consent. She didn't ask us, could we release our records to the DA?
Well, I got news for you. She can, and the
I was
DA.
gonna say the DA probably trumps it.
The DA trumps that. Your privacy compared to a warrant with probable cause. No.
Yeah,
but your information's not going to be passed around.
But we didn't care about that because we figured, hey, you know, the DA look at this, they're gonna catch that they're not paying us overtime. And bingo. When I came to work the next day, she had a whole letter typed up. But Jackson, I want you to sign this to say that you knew about us not paying you overtime. So
do you believe that Susan actually created that letter?
I don't know. I think Susan.
I don't think Susan would have created that.
No. I think Susan questioned why Miss Malveaux wasn't paying us overtime. Because y'all clearly know we work 7 days a week over here, 12-hour shifts.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
She was paying us straight pay. So Susan went over the paperwork before she submitted it to the DA. So she looked at that and said, hey, why are you not paying these guys overtime? So the next day, Miss Malveaux came with a letter saying, hey, it didn't come from Susan. I think it came from Miss Malveaux to cover herself. Because she liked covering her tracks, trust me. So I said, no, I'm not signing that. And I called the Department of Labor and told Lamar, I said, hey, she tried to get me to sign a waiver. She said, you know what, Jackson, it doesn't even matter if you to sign it. It don't matter, it's the law. When we come in,
it is. It says specifically in that part of the Federal Labor Code that cannot be waived. Part of the reason why this can't be waived is because of the tax situation. The federal government isn't going to let you go without making money that you rightfully should be paid so that they can get income tax.
Exactly.
So this is one of the reasons why that law is in effect, and it says specifically that can't be waived. So, Cox, how deep is she into stuff? Debby Cox.
Oh, hand over fist. Hi, Miss Malveaux. Miss Malveaux runs the HOA, and anytime she needs Debbie to sign something, she'll give it to me or say, hey, put it in the mailbox for Debbie to sign it, or Jackson, catch Debbie before she leaves to sign whatever paper she needs to sign to submit, whatever. That's all Debbie does, just sign. She have to have two signatures, Miss Malveaux's and Debbie's, and that's it.
Okay, that's a very good point.
So you don't need signatures of the 5 board members, just the 2.
You only need 2. Generally, most all kinds of board type deals, whenever you have something like this, 2 of any board members.
But if they're that crooked, that means they don't even have to tell the rest of the 5.
Well, they're about to get a really huge wake-up call. Because one of two things happens. I'm on the board, along me and a business owner here in the community, who's very well respected by everybody in the community.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. We're going to be on the board, or one of us is going to be on the board, and
that's the reason why she don't want you, or she don't want no resistance on the board. She don't want anybody to say, no, Miss Malveaux, you can't do that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about it. These are board positions, and I don't care if I'm the president or the vice president or the secretary. I don't care what the position is. Doesn't matter. If I'm on the board, then I have a key to the office, and I can go in and look at the records.
Another thing, she don't want that. She's fighting that.
Well,
she don't want you to come in her office.
She has no power to keep that from happening.
But she's prolonging it. That's one of the things she talked about it now. Oh, he wants to come inside this office. I'm not going to let that happen. So she's going to throw any kind of roadblocks in your way.
Well, Susan's, who is actually still their attorney, has said.
She's still her attorney?
Yeah. Me and Susan have already talked about this. She says, oh yeah, I got your back on that one. So, here's the deal. Susan is a very good attorney. In the ranking of attorneys, organization called Martindale Hubbell. And the way that attorneys are judged, they're judged by their peers, not by their clients, not by judges. They're judged strictly by their peers. Her rating in the law is preeminent, meaning she's in the top 5% attorneys in this business.
Wow.
If Malveaux goes and calls around other attorneys, one of the things that new potential attorney is going to have, they're going to have questions like, okay, who's your attorney now? Well, why in the hell would you leave Susan?
Right. Because Susan not doing the things the way she wants them done.
Right.
You know, which was like stuff she asked me and Saif to do that was illegal. You know, like going around to that club over on the backside over there on Section 1. You know that club back there?
Yeah.
One of her friends was trying to sleep. She called police and all that. So Ms. Mel said, Saif, go around there to the club and tell the owner. And Saif got his life threatened. Hey, get the F away from me if I break both of your legs. I told Saif, don't go back around now. Because if you break your damn legs, your legs just going to be broke. She don't supposed to be over there. That's not your territory. Some stuff Ms. Malveaux says, don't do it. Because she's not going to have your back as you see now. She don't have our back. I was her #1 employee.
So I take it she did not get y'all an attorney?
No. Oh, no.
Did she
I'll try to help y'all get an attorney. I said, no. I said, you know what? She's something else, man. No. She said no. No. I said, Ms. Malveaux, you're not going to ask. You're not going to help us get an attorney? You know, this is our livelihood. You know? We work secure, so livelihood licensing, so I renewed my license and all that, so we back straight. You know.
But you knew your jurisprudence section of your security guard training, you knew you were not doing it right, did you?
No, I didn't, because I've been a courtesy officer before, and I told Ms. Malveaux, okay, you want me to work over here, I have to be a courtesy officer. And the stuff that we was enforcing, which is deed restrictions, loud music bar, all that stuff, deed restrictions.
But you were taking calls for service.
That's what she wanted. That was her idea. And that's where the investigator said, Jackson, that's where you effed up at. You can't be taking calls from residents going to like security.
Yeah.
You know, but she wanted that. You know, I had already resigned from her other job because she said she was going to take care of us, me and Saif. And once we got in here, some stuff changed. We're like, oh, either we're going to take it or we're going to be out of the job. You know?
Yeah.
So it was like one of those kind of deals. So, but yeah, she's a piece of work.
Is it called bait and switch?
Right, yeah. And right now, the residents in the uproar, hey, where's Jackson? Where's Saif? She knows I'm not coming back, but at least she got Saif here. You know, because she want to put us with old mediocre $10 an hour security company. I haven't been doing security. I haven't worked for no $10, especially all this stuff you're going to have me doing that I was doing at 22. I was doing like 5 people's jobs around here. You know, and then you want, oh, it's a good company. No, I'm not. So I resigned. I said, I'm not putting up with this stuff anymore. And I've been talking to me and Saif. We stay close. Saif need a job. He got a family and all that. So he works in there during the week, 6 to 2, running her errands. That's all he does, run errands. She don't want to run errands. Same stuff I was doing. Go to the mailbox. Go pick up pool supplies. Go pick up her lunch. You know, just miscellaneous stuff. That's all he do from 8 to 2. 8 to 2. That's what he does. He works on the weekend over here because she wanted him. She said, "Hey, Saif, can you come back?" And Saif said, "No, I'm not coming back for no $10 an hour. I'm gonna get that guy, the owner, your number so he can come in." So okay. So they came up with a nice wage for him to work on the weekends. That's because the residents was in an uproar about, hey, where Jackson and Saif at? So she feels comfortable now. At least one of us over here. You know, because she's always want to cover her tracks, make the residents. She don't like complaints. She don't like complaints. So when the Department of Labor come up here, y'all see those cars out there.
Tell me this.
And I told them not to come up there on a Friday because they close the doors and lock gates around on Friday. Can't nobody get in there.
How much money back pay? How much back pay do they owe you?
Ooh. From when I first started, back in 2016.
You have an idea what the number is?
Be like
plus or minus $5,000.
Could be about 60,000. Because you got to remember, I was making $22 an hour, working 12-hour days, 7 days a week.
Okay. 22 an hour
Mm-hmm.
from the time when Seal Security was fired?
Yes. This was from February 28, 2016. That's when I started.
To when?
Till last November of
2017?
something like that.
Okay.
So she owes me and Saif a lot of back pay, but like I said, when the Department of Labor come in there, they're gonna do an audit. We took our check stubs up there. We went to the DOL. We went to the office over there. We went there and showed them our check stubs. They have a few of them. So they said, okay, we see that this is a violation right there. They come in, they finna check for every violation they have.
Is there other people working overtime that are not getting paid overtime?
No, everybody else regular salary, but the Department of Labor asked me, was there anybody there that's illegal, anything like that. I said, look, the chef foreman is working there, kids from other countries. I don't know their status. Ricardo, I don't know his status. She said, don't worry about it. We'll find out once we get into that office over there. We're going to find out. We're going to interview every employee at that office.
They're going to interview every previous employee at that office? Since their current employees seem to be taking short rotations in the office.
The employees he has working for now, they're tight-lipped. They want to keep their job.
Can't say that.
Tell me, you have any idea how much these board members are getting paid?
No, I don't know. That's one thing I don't know, because they every month when they come out to the board meetings, hey, y'all go outside and check the parking lot. They close the doors, so we don't know what's handed out under the table. But I'm sure they have to be getting paid. Why show up and you don't do anything?
Linda too, I actually had a conversation with.
Oh, a board member?
Yeah, and I told her, I said, you understand that you are responsible for whatever goes on here. And I said, you have what's called a fiduciary responsibility to the members, meaning the homeowners here. That if something's going on here that should not go on here, you're liable for it just as much as every other board member. She didn't go to very many, like she may have gone to one more board meeting and didn't go to any more.
I don't even think she went to the next board meeting. I didn't see her again.
Oh, so she's off the board? She resigned? Or?
She's gone, and some blonde-haired woman that was previously on the board is now on the board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then Debby Cox, she filed an affidavit with the county the other day with regard to the new fees. She tried to raise the document production rate from 10 cents to $5 per page. So if I go in and say I want these documents, she wants to charge $5 a page for them.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, but the second part of what this is that in her resolution, which she filed this and then filed it with the county, she filed and said that in the board meeting, we discussed this, and it was approved unanimously by the board. And Malveaux witnessed it, and she signed it as president. Well, it actually wasn't discussed at the board meeting.
This was what, November's meeting?
November's meeting.
It don't surprise me.
So
and another thing, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
You remember when you was in that meeting and it was an African American lady stood up kind of giving you some, hey.
The girl with the braids.
That's a relative of hers, isn't it?
No, it's not a relative of hers. She's a ex-neighbor that stayed across the street. She since sold her house now, but she was staged there. She asked her to come there.
This is that person that was on Next Door. That we were. Remember the one that said that
the house was directly across the street and said that she had lived here for years, and I told you it didn't make any sense because that house was up for sale.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she sold it. That's her house, but she sold it now. But yeah, she was staged. She was asked to come there.
Yeah, everybody that little cheerleading party, it's all set up.
Yeah,
I could tell, You don't get that. You don't get people that are interested in what's going on like that in that kind of manner.
Right.
Especially not at the first meeting they attend.
Yeah. Problem is Malveaux thinks that I'm stupid.
No, she don't think that because she's making moves despite, hey, Olson, watch for Olson. I need to do this because of Olson. No, she's afraid of you.
Oh, I know, and I don't care.
Because
I really don't.
She knows you're gonna, you're a threat to mess up her little comfy nest she got up there. You know.
Well, I'm hoping that she likes jail because that's where I'm hoping that I can get her to. And I have a very strong feeling that once I get a key to the office, be it through a judge's order or as a board member by vote of the people.
Okay, now if you're trying to get on the board, you make sure you have a lot of people that's ready to vote for you. Because like I said, Olson, she got a lot of these elderly people. She sent Ricardo to watch that red truck. She sent Ricardo to their house to do free work while he's on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
While he's on the clock now, to do free work, and then those residents in turn fill out those ballots. Hey, want Miss Malveaux to stay on the board? So
Don't
that's the
worry, I
key.
meet plenty of people around here who hate the way the HOA treats them.
So that's the key right there.
We're going to end up speaking probably to every resident that actually lives in the neighborhood.
A lot of residents read that app that y'all on.
Yeah.
So put that on there. You know, they especially don't want this to get out about that money that was stolen.
Well, I
They
wouldn't
kept
put
that.
anything on there unless you've got proof.
I'll pull the records.
Yeah, pull it. It's on there.
Yeah, I'll pull the records and then put the records up.
Just don't want her coming after you for anything stupid like libel or slander or...
No, that's the truth right there.
Well, I'm not saying it's not the truth, but just make sure you've got
Oh,
supporting
yeah.
evidence
Yeah, I
to
have.
back it
Yeah,
up.
I understand the difference between. There's 3 different types of people. You have a public person, a private person, then a semi-public person. So they qualify as semi-public,
Oh, okay.
and I'm a private person. So I could still talk shit about them even though I haven't, and I would be absolved of anything I said. So they've already through the previous law firm that they had,
What's it
Holt
called?
and Young.
Yeah, Holt and Young. Yeah.
Holt and Young sent me a letter, and then I ended up talking to James Holt, and me and Jim talked for about an hour, about law and stuff. He was talking about when I was in law school, and he was like, "Oh, this is how. Here's some one correction here, this and this," and we talked, and it was a productive conversation. Then I told him, I said, "I don't think things are right over there." I said, "I'm not talking trash about anybody, but I'm pretty sure that things are not right, and you probably ought to get into it over there." So she had to do a document. She had to do all that document production, and then she left out a whole lot of checks, tons and tons of checks, numbers.
You've got whatever 200 that are missing.
Yeah, it's about 200 checks missing.
Wow. Maybe some checks she wrote to herself.
I don't know, there's just 200 missing. Like, she didn't provide proof of the checks or of the checks in the registers, plus the documents have stuff that had been whited out and Xeroxed.
Maybe there's some of those checks that Melissa wrote.
Quite possibly. Quite likely, actually. So, whatever, it'll all come out in the wash, but I'm glad you came out and told me.
I feel like, something needs to be done, and these residents are just getting, they're getting a hammer on them over here, man, and just for this little itty bitty stuff. I just tell Saif all the time, I couldn't stay over here. It's nitpick. Your trash can out. Why you want to find? Okay, I leave my trash can out where I stay. If HOA don't find me, I'll just put it up next day.
Well, it's not only that, but I understand leaving your trash can out your street or in front of your house, but whenever I used to have the trash cans, I had a big, huge shrub over here on the side of the house, and it extended all the way past, like, half of this fence over here, and you used to keep the trash cans behind the shrub.
She wants you to zoom in on that. You could barely see the trash can.
The only way you could see that trash can is basically if you were parked in Jack and Diane's driveway.
Mm-hmm.
You just couldn't see it, even
And
on the street.
They probably pulled into that driveway and took the picture. You just never know. You know, you had to come into the office with some pictures, especially on 4th of July, New Year's. Oh my goodness, we didn't have any fines, and they're like, hey, what have y'all been doing? I said, Ms. Malveaux, look, first of all, these residents have been drinking. They got their homies, family members over here. You know, me and Saif afraid we want to go home to our families. You know, because we done had some incidents where, hey, you get them over here, and they walking up to us 10, 15 crowd of people because people have New Year's Eve parties. You know, and Harris County said, hey, man, you know, it's no fines over here. It's legal, which we know it's legal, but she's pushing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man, like, she's a piece of work, man. All about the fines, padding these people's accounts. That way she'll have an upper hand on them. Okay, well, I'll dismiss half of it. You just pay this, and we'll set you up on a payment plan.
Don't get me wrong, shit still needs to be fixed, and they still need to be able to come after people in a legal way. But by the same token, whenever I was walking the dog the other day, there's like literally 4 or 5 cars within the block that I walk that are all sitting on flats. One at the house next door to Malveaux's house. There's people with Christmas decorations, blow-up inflatables, lights and shit that are all still strewn out in people's front yards.
Oh.
It's gonna go to shit.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't get back to some sort of feasible working manner, but
Yeah, everything, there's, you know, it didn't take very much to read the law and follow the rules and do everything the right way.
But when there's only one person setting the rules, you know?
Do you know why I'm here right now? I mean, why you were here right now? Because the very first board meeting that I attended, she said something shitty to me. You know what it was?
What?
She says, you're not allowed to be here. You don't need to sign that, because she hadn't arrived at the office yet. I said,
you're not a resident.
You're not a resident.
You're not a homeowner.
You're not a homeowner. I know who you are. I said, really? Who am I? And she goes, I know what your situation is. I said, I'd like for you to tell me what my situation is.
Oh no, she got mouthy to me.
Yeah, well.
I told her, I said, please tell me and everybody else here what my situation is. She's like, well, you're not married to him. I said, whether I am or whether I'm not, what is that of any business of yours, or to be putting it out in a public meeting?
Right, exactly.
Well, he's not a homeowner. Well, how do you know that? He doesn't live here. Well, how do you know that? Well, I've done pulled your deed. His name isn't on your deed.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
So she's being a bully. She's always.
So that's what started it.
Man, she's always been like that.
Then she got mouthy, and she told me that if I had an issue with her, we could take this outside. And that was right after that little teenage girl said that shit on the TV, cash me outside, bitch, or whatever. And I told her, I said, look, I said, everybody knows that that's a threat, like a schoolyard playground, to take me outside and whoop my ass. I was like, you have no right talking like that to anybody at any kind of meeting. You should hold yourself higher than that.
Right.
And Debbie was like, I'll take care of it, I'll take care of it.
No, Debbie's not going to do anything. Debbie's not going to do anything. Ms. Malveaux run that whole deal.
Well, that's pretty much going to come to an end.
Well, I can't wait.
I'll already fix it.
I can't wait.
I don't know what the future holds, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to involve Malveaux eventually.
If you or this other guy you're talking about get on the board, that's probably going to be the end of the matter. She's probably going to resign because she don't have any hold anymore.
Yeah. But I suspect right now she's destroying records. Because they had already destroyed the meeting minutes prior to 2014. Destroyed corporate records, which you don't do.
What is that? What, 10-year period or something?
No, your corporate records. You keep your corporate records for the life of the company.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So she's shredding them.
Yeah. Yeah. She shredded them. She's doing a whole bunch of shredding and.
Well, I know she has those little guys, those teenagers that come in and work in the evening time. They be shredding a lot of stuff. I don't know what they be shredding, but they be shredding a lot of stuff in that office over there. Sometime in her office, in the HOA office where the meeting's at, they sit down and just shred stuff. I don't know what's in those boxes. So I could be. You know, I see, but don't ask no questions.
Okay.
You know, because when I resigned, I didn't give her my keys. I didn't come up here. And
You still have the key?
No. I put them in Debbie's mailbox.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to see her. She done me so bad. I didn't want to act like everything was all good. Get a cake. Oh, congratulations, Jasmine. No, because you're two-faced. I didn't want to deal with you. I dropped the key. I text Debbie, dropped the keys in the mailbox. Let her know keys in the mailbox. And she the next day, Jackson's so unprofessional. I don't trust him. I'm going to get all these locks changed.
Let me tell you something. You would have been, whenever this happens, for your future reference, whenever you hand off a key to somebody, you get a receipt that I handed you this key.
Well, I sent her a text.
Yeah, no. You have to get, because if she
okay.
goes
I see what
and
saying.
goes and starts stealing stuff out of the office.
She could say Jackson never turned in his key.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So whenever you do that next time, you always get something that says, I gave my keys back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's your phone number?
832.
Okay.
256-8821.
Unless they're do not copy keys, what fucking difference does it make?
It doesn't
Anybody
matter.
who's ever had a goddamn key can make as many copies as they want. And
This
pass
is
them
true,
out to
but
whoever they want.
This is true, but in the eyes of a jury, that if you went through the effort to get a key signed that you handed it back, chain of custody.
Oh, I agree. But I'm just saying, in the whole proving beyond a reasonable doubt thing, there's plenty of ways to prove doubt.
What's your first name?
Torrance?
Torrance.
Yeah.
You know what? Tell me what do you know about Terrence Glen Erwin?
Who was that?
The
The
guy
house.
they took his house.
On, what's street?
Stonehenge? What? Not Stonehenge.
No.
Stevenage.
Stevenage.
Yeah.
Well, they've been dealing with that guy ever since I've been working here. Apparently, he hadn't been paying his taxes on the house, and they filed a lien or something on his house.
They own his house.
They own it, yeah. They own it now, but he still lives there.
Yeah. It's a situation that.
She didn't want that to get out either.
Huh?
She didn't want that to get out either. So that surprised her when you told her about, hey, what about that guy on Stevenage? You know, they own the house, but the guy still lives there.
Thing is that, well,
The guy's still paying stuff too.
paying her, but we don't know how much and what's going for what.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
He says he is, and what it is the what I've been curious to, but I found out it's not the case, is that being they're a nonprofit, like property taxes can be waived, for instance, but I don't think they're being waived. I think his previous mortgage company has actually been paying it out of his escrow account. But something has occurred, and that is that there's a 2-year statute of limitations. When they took possession of the house with a deed, the lender has a 2-year period to come in and actually claim the warranty deed. So the mortgager, the mortgage company, has 2 years to come in and say, give it up. They have 2 years to come into Sterling Green.
Well, they hadn't done anything else.
Yeah, the mortgage company may have fallen through the cracks of a mortgage company.
Yeah.
I don't know, but what it's set up for right now, it's set up to where it may be they're trying to steal the house, like they're going to do a sale of it.
Oh.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And that also can't be done.
Yeah, you never know what she's up to.
Anything that any debt you take on, any real estate you buy or sell, any changes to your dedicatory instruments, your legal documents, all of those things have to be discussed in front of the members. They can't be done behind closed doors.
I'm sure she's not. She's probably discussing it with Debbie.
Well,
at the least, Debbie. But other members, I don't think so. No. She wanted to keep them far off the loop as possible. I can tell you that.
The black woman that's on the board? The other black woman?
It's 2 black? I didn't know. I've been gone since November.
No, the one who's been there, who's been on the board for a long.
Yeah, that's live out Easenwall. Okay.
What's her deal? What's she like, or what's her situation?
I don't know.
She don't say nothing.
She
She
don't
just
say
gives
nothing.
ugly looks.
All she says just, hi, hey Jackson, how you doing? And that's it. When she comes to the board meeting, they sit there, they don't say anything. When y'all in the meeting, that's when I'm in the meeting. When y'all leave, all the residents leave out, we have to leave out too. So I don't know what's said or done. But me and Saif came to the conclusion to where, why are they even attending the meeting if they're not saying any no input? They get a check under the table. I can tell you someone you could ask that was on the board was Lupe.
Yeah, he wasn't. He didn't tell me he was getting paid. And me and him have already talked.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably why Malveaux hates him.
Yeah, anybody that crosses him, she doesn't like.
Okay.
Anybody that crosses, she doesn't like. So she already's thinking, hey, Jackson got the devil in him. No, I don't. No, I just know when someone just screwed over me. You're screwing over these residents over here. You know? Freaking residents can't even pick their own color to paint their own house.
Well, there's a rhyme and reason to that, but that's.
Yeah. No, you're missing it.
No.
There's a list of set colors that you can pick for your house, and it's like earth tones, beige, brown, tan, whatever.
It's not fair.
She wants you to bring up there like 5 or 6 paint chip cards, and she wants to pick which paint chip or tell you she doesn't like any of them.
Because her friends don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The friends over here she's cool with, that she gets the votes from, they don't have to do all that. Oh, what color you have? Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, that's fine. No resistance. But the people she don't, oh no, you can't have that. No.
Why do you think we don't really do anything to the outside of the house right now? We're in the middle of remodeling, and all the upstairs is being built out in here, and so, we had to do that because, the kids are just getting too big, and we had to make new rooms in the house.
Well, whatever you do, you watch that lady next door. That's a close friend of hers.
I don't care about her. I don't care about her at all.
I don't know what happened between you and her about her fence, but
it's
she
part of the deal is part of the deal goes back to her ex-husband. That her ex-husband, when he was running over here on Cloverleaf area, arrested one of her boys, and jacked him up in the process because he resisted. And then she came over, knocked on the door like the next morning or something, and said, "Can you help me with this?" Having no idea who jacked him up. So
that's where that come from. Okay, because she said something about the fence or something.
Oh, well, it's because I was wanting to redo the fence down the side because the poles are rotten, but it's her fence.
Yeah, so she came into the office, and that's a friend of hers. I don't know what happened with that. But I know it was something with the fence with you and her over here.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Also,
and then
but also we wanted to do
down.
we also wanted to start putting some pea gravel into the backyard, and that's also part of where this came from.
Because we asked if we could back the truck into our driveway to unload the pea gravel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she threw a huge fit.
Yeah, she did. She came into the office. I was saying all kind of shit. Like I said, that's a friend of hers, so she's probably gonna get with her.
I couldn't give less of a shit. In fact, I will make this house look like an eyesore as long as it gets on her nerves. I do not care about that woman. I don't like bullies.
Yeah. Rumor also has it that she wants to come after me for the tarp over the fireplace from Harvey. I was like, have at it, because I'm still going through FEMA and all the rest of the nonsense. Come on.
Yeah.
So, you got my number, man. Just call me if you have any questions, man.
What happened in the investigation with the sheriff's office?
Well, it's on hold right now. We hadn't heard anything. Me and Saif are always checking, see what's going on. It's at a halt right now, with us. Since the investigation, like I said, me and Saif, and we got our certification and all that stuff. So, and we work for security companies now. So,
humor me. Just What do you think your punishment should be?
What
would be fair?
I think my punishment should be maybe a Class A misdemeanor, fine or something. You know, because...
Did you get an attorney?
No, not yet.
Okay.
You know, because, like I said, I got family. I don't have money to retain an attorney yet. So we just plan, we just watching it and see, you know, because, like I said, if we go to court, the DL, she's going to pull my background.
You got a criminal background or what?
No, I don't have a criminal background. No, matter of fact, I got federal clearance from this other job that I was going to get hired through FEMA, but this job came through for me. And so I already got a FEMA badge, so it did. So I said, hey, I'm going with another company. I said, okay, well, you can't take the badge because you're not working with us. So, yeah, I got clearance through FEMA, through the Fed. So my background is...
You have a what is it called? It's a public trust background check. It's not, you don't have it's not a secret, it's not a confidential. It's you have a, what's called a public trust background check.
Yeah, you can check my background. I have no problem with that.
But you have no criminal record or anything.
No criminal record at all.
Right. Well, hopefully it's just the administrative side. Whatever the charge would be just the administrative side of things, and not the penal code side of things. You don't want that.
No, I don't want that. No.
Do you have alternatives if you end up getting, if this affects your job?
Not at this moment. No.
You probably need to get, and this is just me telling you as a friend, okay, me being friendly with you. You need to get that money, that back pay that you're owed.
Mm-hmm.
You need to put it in the bank, and in case you need to hire a really good attorney, and you pay.
That's why I'm doing this. Oh yeah, if she don't want to help us with an attorney, that's why I filed with the Department of Labor. So
I think actually Malveaux should actually be paying the fines for y'all.
Yeah, we think so too, because she the one pushed the phone on us.
So y'all weren't doing. You originally didn't have a phone.
No. Yeah. No.
Y'all didn't have like a phone that you would take calls from the community on.
Yes, from her.
Right.
Yes.
So initially, when you got hired, that's how it was.
That's how it was. She put the phone. She said, "Hey, I'm gonna get a phone so the rest can call y'all on this phone."
Okay.
You know, so that's where the sheriff was like, you know, you can't do that. And,
I think that that's when, you know, if you took the job and you originally didn't have the phone like that, I think that would probably go far. I think that would go some distance with the district attorney.
Well, we didn't know that she was going to issue us a phone.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, she did like the bait and switch. Once we resigned from our other jobs, you know, I'll take care of it, doing all this. So it was too late then. You know, at the time I had a mortgage. You know, then why we sold a house a year ago, now we're in a rent house, so we're trying to get a credit together, get another house, because like I said, kids getting big, you know, got a lot of stuff going on. Saif got his kids, and now she just want to throw us under the bus and don't want to help with no attorney or nothing.
Hey.
You know?
By looking through their records, is there any way that you can find the purchase of the phone? You would have to get credit card records and everything.
Oh yeah, that's not hard to do.
And not only that, when I was showing her resistance, you know, asking all these questions, when the car broke down, she said, "Oh, Jackson, stay home." Stay home? So I never worked for a company. The vehicle don't work, you stay home. She was using that to, per se, punish me, hurt my pockets, because she know I got a family to take care of. I could have easily drove the pickup truck.
Yeah.
You know, she let that other lady drive it, and she wrecked it.
Older lady.
Yeah, you
talk about the old lady who does the maintenance.
Yeah.
Who does the landscaping stuff.
Yeah. She let her drive it. She backed up into a little post at the store, missed the bumper up. I hadn't wrecked a vehicle since I've been working over here. But I can't. You know, she was using that grip. You know,
accidents happen, but she's being a bully.
Right. Exactly. So I'm like, you know, and those poor people in the office, you know, they're scared because they want to keep their jobs. So when the Department of Labor come in there, that's a good time for them to talk up.
Who's the lady in the office, the heavier set white lady with short hair?
Oh, she lives over here. That's Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah, she lives over here. And Miss Mel will always say, you know, you live over here. You don't supposed to be working in the office because you stay in the neighborhood.
It's not how that works. The actual rule is if you are a board member, if you have a second or third degree singularity in attachment to a board. In other words, if you are sangria, meaning blood.
Oh, okay, related.
So if you are blood relationship up to the third degree, you're not allowed to do something for the organization unless it's bid out. So Malveaux
shouldn't be paid.
She shouldn't be paid. Okay.
Period. Just
Oh,
because
but she could.
But she don't punch in like everybody else. So so that's why she didn't want her records released. That's why she got Susan to block it.
Well, it's
because on the Wells Fargo payroll, it shows that she's getting paid.
Yeah.
She didn't want that to get out.
What it is that if she wanted that job, it has to be actually be bid out to other people that would be qualified to do the job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's who she is. She lives right off Willisley, 1300 block of Willisley. She works right in the office, and she's plumb scared of Miss Malveaux.
Oh, I could tell.
She's all fidgety every time Miss Malveaux, She's afraid that she'll lose her job any minute. You know.
And her name is Kathy with a C or Kathy with a?
I think Kathy with a C.
No idea what her last name is.
No, I can't remember her last name. No, but Saif can find out for you though.
Okay.
Because he works in the office, he can look on her time card. And he's so fed up. He's just waiting for the Department of Labor to come in here and they cut us our checks and he's leaving too.
Well, he could even stay, and they can't do it. They couldn't do shit about it. In fact, I would encourage him to stay, just because if she were to try to fire him,
Or retaliate, yeah.
The federal government will come in and come down on her like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, they did tell us that.
Yeah, there's no retaliation for these kinds of filings on these complaints. It is brutal. That's one thing you don't do is you don't lie to those people.
Well, she'll think of something to try to get him out of there. Trust me.
Well, if I'm on the board, then it's a matter of I'll bring it up at the meetings. She doesn't. There's actually a format which those meetings are actually supposed to be held. Parliamentary, procedures, Robert's Rules of Order, for instance. And, when you open the meeting at a time, you go through an agenda. The agenda has, public comment period, and you talk about what's going on. You talk about your finances and any other business. If you have an executive session, and then you adjourn back into the meeting, and you actually have to report back what was discussed. Minus the privacy, subtract the privacy stuff actually has to be put into the meeting minutes.
I don't even think that's happening.
No, not at all.
Oh no, it's not. Their meeting minutes that they gave us are
and
basically a printout of the
what
same thing.
she's showing you. I'm sure it's something she's probably rigged up.
No, I have a feeling they're actual meeting minutes, but they're incompetent because they're not doing meetings like they're supposed to be done.
No.
They like to claim ignorance.
Yeah, and blame it on some attorney that they used to have at some point. So,
I gotta get on out of here, folks, man. Hey, just call me, man, if you have any more questions, man. Let me know how things going.
Okay.
Saif will let me know about the meeting because I really want to get over here and talk with you before that meeting come up. That way you have a bunch of questions to ask and some answers need to come from those questions. Because her thing is she wants to be quiet the whole meeting. She don't want to say anything.
I have a question. How much of this can I use? You have no relationship with the HOA anymore, right?
No.
So in other words, let me.
You could use it just to say who you got it from. I really want the Department of Labor to be a surprise. I really don't want her to give her heads up on that because I want them to catch her off guard. I want to get her. She knows the Department of Labor coming. She's gonna be shredding all types of shit. Trust me. And I told the Department of Labor about that. She said, you know what? If that payroll don't add up to these check stubs, oh, she's gonna get in trouble.
It would actually, if she does go in trouble,
Because
it would be
a direct deposit.
It would be. Let me say this. It would be more. It'd be a harder hammer blow to the top of her head if she did go and try to destroy records. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the record of how much money it's already gone into the bank accounts, that's already an electronic record that she doesn't have control over.
Mm-hmm.
So if I told the world about this conversation and everything, and yeah, Jackson came by my house tonight, told me everything that y'all are doing, y'all are fucked. Including, you're going to end up writing him a $50,000 check and probably Saif too.
Oh, Saif too.
Yeah.
I work days, he work nights.
Yeah.
24-hour shift. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And y'all are fucked. If she then goes and immediately starts destroying records after I said that, what you can expect is that the Department of Labor will come down on her even harder.
That's what I want to do.
But you see, that's only beneficial if there are other copies of those records
No,
and you can
it
prove
doesn't-
that
no.
she's destroying them.
There are other copies of the records. The actual direct deposits are copies of the records.
Well, yeah, but I mean, think about all the other stuff in that office that she could be destroying that doesn't
Yeah.
have electronic records.
Like what?
And she keeps them in that. You know where the garage is? She
Yeah.
keeps them in boxes right there in the ceiling. That's where she keeps it at.
What if I can get a DA to give me a subpoena on everything?
That's probably your best bet, Olson.
If you could get your hands on proof of things that existed before they disappear.
Statement from him would be along those lines.
A lot of it might fall under hearsay if he doesn't have physical proof other than what he saw.
It's direct. No, hearsay is a third party rule. That's direct testimony from him that these things have gone on and the records of the crime are stored in those records. That's direct testimony by affidavit. If you don't mind, you can put it in writing.
Yeah, but I'm not sure though. Olson.
Yeah, I
That's
was
what
gonna
I'm
say,
Oh,
if
you're
he's
not
not
sure.
100%.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
He knows that the stuff is stored there. He doesn't
I'm
know
telling
what's
you where
stored
it's-
in the stuff.
Right, exactly. I
This
know
is my
it's-
point.
Oh, but it is stored in the garage, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, then yeah, that's enough.
Yeah, it's stored in.
Exactly where it's stored at and what box he doesn't know, but but if he knows that all the bad mojo's in the garage, then we just want everything in the garage. If anything, they can come in and put evidence tape on each box and leave the box and say, okay, there's 30 boxes here. We're going to put evidence tape on each box.
Because those are the same boxes that the Department of Labor going to go through.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
going to go through all that stuff. They told me. They said, hey, we're going to comb through everything in that office. And every employee is going to get interviewed.
Yeah, but they're probably focusing on just
No.
labor
No.
related things.
No, they're not. When they had the malfeasance of against one employee, they come down on look for the malfeasance across the board.
Mm-hmm. That was the lady said.
It's a broad spectrum deal. They'll come in and they're going to audit everything.
Yep, that's what she told me. They're going to audit everything. So she can't tell them, oh, see my attorney.
Also, were y'all paid? Did y'all have health insurance?
No.
Still, it's under 50 employees. So
Yeah, it's under 50. And then I had insurance through my wife's job. So
Even whenever you're under so many employees, if they don't provide you insurance, they still have to provide you some sort of stipend to go towards your own purchase of insurance.
Was that paid?
Look up the
She's
law
tight.
because
Yeah.
she's tight. She's tight
So-
on that money. She gave us 10 days PTO time. Me and Saif. All right. Me and Saif only used 6 of them.
Okay.
Okay. And it's always pick and choose when we can use them.
Look at no. Here's where I'm going at. Your wife paid for your wife.
Oh, that was
insurance?
my wife insurance.
Okay, but there was probably a payment that she had to make to cover you as well on her insurance.
What? I'm not sure.
So there's that.
Yes.
I know it wasn't provided.
There's a stipend that you're supposed to be getting at least some money from her.
The reason why I know this is whenever that law came into force, even though at that point in time I worked for a large national company, each individual chain of stores within a certain square miles radius meant the under minimum requirement, and they still had to provide each one of us with a stipend, even though they weren't providing us with actual health insurance.
So it may be more than just the overtime. It may also be something under the Affordable Care Act as well.
I don't think it was anything major that we got. It was like $50 or so to go towards whatever.
There's gonna be a huge reckoning over there, and everything has to be gone through. I'm sure that whatever audit firm that she told Susan the other day that we're getting an audit and the audit's going to take 3 months. An initial audit generally takes about 3 months to do because it's the first one and you have to go through everything going back however long it's defined to go back through.
I don't know if that health insurance rule applies to contract employees on 1099s.
But you weren't on it. No. He was on W-2.
No, I'm on W-2.
Oh, okay, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you were working way more than 40 hours a week, so.
No, I was working 84.
Yeah.
81 week, 84 the next, same thing.
So.
You tell me what you want to use, what you want to talk about in the meeting on that paper right there.
Can you take whatever you're doing with sort of a legal standpoint and present the board as well as the members who are there with the proof and documents and have the board members read certain sections out loud and then say what you have to say that's the difference?
Make sure you get that evidence about Melissa Davis too. Because they swept that under the rug quick. They didn't want no residents to find out about that. That's going to be a stunner right there.
We'll find out the details on that. Over $100,000. It was, probably a C felony, if not a B felony.
How long ago did that happen?
3 years ago. I think about 3 years ago.
Do you have any idea what month or whenever the DA got the deal or anything like that?
No, I don't remember what month that was. Olson, I don't. I just know the lady, Melissa Davis, and the DA was keeping in contact with Ms. Malveaux, vice versa, and she told her, hey, she got maybe 2 years in prison, maybe 3, but she did do some time. She may be still in there. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'd like to call you if I have anything else.
Yeah, call me anytime. If I don't answer, leave a message and I'll call you back.
Listen, if I end up on the board, I want to try to get a whole lot of things fixed, including, if y'all, you're going to need counsel. I'd like to see that, whenever you said this investigation was on hold.
Yeah, we checking with our bondsman, Justin, because they'll be the first one to know if his charge has been filed. So that's how we trying to keep a track of. Because Miss Malveaux's not gonna tell us anything. She's not gonna help Saif. She's not gonna help me.
You don't think the detective would call you and go, hey, Well,
if the detective call me, I tell him what I don't have anything to hide.
But if he needs to do an arraignment, for the charge, I'm sure he'd call you.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
It's not like, he can show up at your work and then he's got to go chase you and.
Yeah, I just don't. If with me and Saif, if a warrant's out, we want to know about it because we want to go, have a no arrest bond.
Yeah.
And then we'll take care of it from there. So that's our thing. We don't want to be driving to work or something. Police pull us over. We got a warrant. Don't know anything about it. That's our deal. So that's what But Saif has he don't have a record either. He has a clear background. He has his deal. He's trying to deal with staying in the States and stuff like that. So like I said, for Ms. Malveaux know that too. And for her not to try to help us with an attorney, throw us up under the bus, We out here on our own. It's ridiculous, man.
Well, I'll try to see if I'm gonna try to. Okay.
She has an attorney for herself that she's paying for with the board.
The board actually has errors and omissions insurance, legal insurance, and they're actually being paid. That Susan's right now counsel for the HOA, but if once there's a conversion to a criminal thing, it'll get a different attorney. Susan will get a different attorney because it's not her area of law. But what I'm saying is that at a minimum, the HOA probably owes you an attorney. I don't know about the fine. I don't know what the ramifications are of what y'all done. But, at a minimum, I think, y'all should be getting an attorney at least, paid for by the HOA.
Right. And
is there any law or anything that would back that?
No. Nope. And as additionally,
and
y'all should also.
Debby Cox told Saif, "Hey, Saif, don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of it. We're gonna get y'all an attorney." I guess Debby talked to Ms. Malveaux, and she shot it down.
The reason being is that the insurance only covers the board members, and this is actually how it's supposed to work. But
yeah, but at the same time, we need an attorney, but you're cutting our hours at the same time.
That's not really the argument, but
I know. I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying is this: is that y'all actually need attorneys, okay? And y'all quite likely need an attorney different than what the board gets or Malveaux gets,
yeah.
okay?
Because let me tell you right now, she's only looking out for herself.
Right. Okay. I don't think you and Saif will have a problem. See, an attorney can generally not represent two people in a if you consider it a conspiracy, okay? So if you have here's Malveaux, here's Saif, and then here's you, okay? Generally, you are going to need 3 attorneys and not one representing 2. So.
Right. Yeah, man, Saif, like, we're gonna get an attorney. We talked to a firm, so and the guy said, one attorney Saif talked to said, yeah, I can represent you, Saif, and I got a attorney that can represent Jackson. He knows what's going on, and he was like, the least thing, y'all get a fine, but look like it's gonna fall on the HOA, because she said she had a security company over here before, prior to us.
Uh-huh.
Which
means she knew the rules.
Yeah, so she knew. She's not new to this.
The problem is that you 2 guys knew the rules. When she gave you the phone, she hired you under one pretense, and then when she gave you the phone, she changed the game.
She changed it, yeah.
So,
yeah, she changed the game, man. Changed the game. So it was like, oh my goodness, this lady's something else, man. So, like I said, man, Saif been talking for months. Saif been talking to you. I've been talking to Saif. You know what? I think Olson's going to get things right in that office, which needs to be done. Let him know I want to talk to him. That way you put pressure on the HOA, break that conspiracy, what's up, whatever going on in there between. I think it's Ms. Malveaux and Debby. I don't think the other ladies don't really I don't think they know what's really going on. They just
whoever the heavyset black woman is that's in the meetings, that board member, I have a feeling she is probably the 3rd most informed person in the group.
Oh,
okay.
I only remember her saying something once.
Yeah, and that's whenever she's talked about us cornering somebody in a parking lot, and that's Charles Jackson. Charles Jackson says, "You didn't corner shit. I'm not gonna be pinned down by somebody."
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
So, all right, man, we'll let you go.
All right, man. Nice talking to you. Like I said, Saif open too. You have any questions? He works in the office too. So
yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, he works in the office now from 8 to 2. So if there's anything you say, hey, Saif, talk to him, say, hey, give me Kathy's last name. He can easily look on her time card.
Okay.
Get that for you. And he can be your eyes and ears inside of the office too. Trust me, because he's pissed off too. Going us under the bus and not want to help us with an attorney or anything. So he'll be willing to do whatever you need him to do.
We'll see what we can make happen, okay?
All right, sir.
All right, man. Listen, be safe, okay?
All right. Appreciate it.
Nothing.
I'll turn the car slide out. Let's see, guys.
She gets to sleep right now.
Okay, all right.
All right, take it easy, man.